Yeah, we're there with you again. May I tell you, why you look all the people in the London, trust me, man. Wonderful. Why you look the promoter? Why you look my brethren? David, Tafari. Yeah, man, may I tell you, if you never let the brethren, I'll sit down in the hotel room and just have vex up with the weather. Why you look Duke BSC? How you do? Yes, I hope you see some of them picture there. Why you look all the one them who I listen to, and know to them the dead, eh? And know say the thing that go on sweet. We love that. We love that. So there, Jamaica, Easter gone, so that means that the advertisement not supposed to serious power. Speaking of advertisement, yes, them not so serious, I hope so. But we say a little thing I grew up in Syria, where according to them, it's a whole heap of things are going because it look like somebody a pick war with somebody. Simone, how you do? You're good. All right, you look good. All right, so we see the British people them I blame Russia for some poison thing. Yeah. I see the British them I blame the Russian them for poison a man and him daughter, yes. And them decide to them take some action. But now a more serious thing come up now where America also need to take some action where them say the Syrian them leg us some poison gas again. And them a decide say them a go side up with England and throw some bomb on the Syrian them, and the Syrian them say, well, not Syrian, the Russian them say, look here, anyhow, all right. Yeah, no wonder, yeah. Them say, anyhow, the American them fire missile, them are going to fire, them are going to counter it, and not going to counter it, but them are going to send missile in the place where the American missile originate from. A serious thing that, A serious thing that. Them are going to send missile, which part the missile them originate from. Where America said them are going to drop missile. And meanwhile, the British over there so have a little contention too. So, but Russia now back down for nothing. No, Russia now back down for nothing. Because Putin just get the go ahead to be the president again, overwhelmingly. So, we will see how that will play out, but the things stay away. Yeah, the things stay away. Because meanwhile, we over here, so, things is not always all. Just because we see it look away, it's not so it is. Then put something in front of you and make you believe that thing. When go for find so there's an underlying thing go on. It's like how we say our government talk to people. Them say something amongst themselves and then them come out and say, we can't tell the people them that this is what we have to tell the people them. And them say it so much time that everybody start to believe it. That going on most of the things them here, even religion, the preacher says the same thing every Sunday, and the congregation start believe it to the point where them will all die for where them hear, without even investigation or even critically thinking about the thing. So things are happen, and we have to watch it happen. Because we go down there plan, this and a plan that, and them no more planning. Because them a plan for all go Mars and all them, where they go find out if man can live up there. And all them something there. The Chinese them in Africa and then Jamaica, yeah, so for some weird reason, the Chinese feel say them want to lock themselves in Jamaica more than all the other Caribbean island them. America seem to be losing foothold, even in South Africa. The sparring partner, or the economical partner, the trading partner in South Africa now is more lean to China. America is no longer the main economical power in South Africa. China take all of that. And we see China spread its ring white cross. Meanwhile, the American, them have a foothold in Ghana. We must remember, the first place Obama did go in Africa was Ghana, you know. You know, see it? And them set up them derricks. Till right now, them have set up military base. Because we know Obama militarized Africa with the American army. And them have set up military base in Ghana. And people can't say nothing because according to the president, them did done have some arrangement even before him did come. It's like we with the IMF thing. We were on the IMF because we did done make arrangement, the other government, the previous government before this government did make arrangement with the IMF. So them can't come out of it until a certain time and a certain thing happen. But the same, you know, we see the militarization of Ghana especially, where the military, you talk about diplomatic immunity. Well, that is where the American military have in Ghana diplomatic immunity. That means that them can't go shoot a man on the road. And it's like what we are here about this killing. Remember the soldier, them will go up the man's house and things they do this to the house. And fire shot in there and kill the man. 30-yard shot, fire at the man's house, kill him. Well, we are here to say Bunting did give the go-ahead for what you call immunity. Can you imagine that? That means that the police, them can't, at least they must say them have immunity, so them can't get arrested for the murder of the man. Them go up in the man's house. You hear about it? You hear about it? Yeah, man. The man when it get dead, I think I might up there so. During Dudus, when I look for Dudus and feel say, I do this in the house, and the man, them fire 30-yard shot, kill the man. And now we are here say, them call for immunity from these things. It's a terrible thing. Cutting edge. Even a gangster fall in love. Go see Clarke music. Depend with case, yeah. Yeah, this is the Cutting Edge on RFM. We give thanks every day forward. You know, so Winnie Mandela, them have the ceremony today. I am so upset. Them have the ceremony for Winnie Mandela today. I should be there. What am I doing here? Concrete asphalt. I tell you, it hurt me. If you ever know why I try to reach out there, without come back here, so. But I hear that the funeral is Saturday. Yeah, I hear that the funeral is Saturday, may I tell you. Painful, man, painful. And then I hear some little people run out the mouth and know about. You see the weirdest thing about it? That them keep a talk about, you know, the British, especially, keep a talk about the things them where them claim say it's terrible. And in the other mouth, them have to show you say, and even though that, the people them turn out, including the youth parents who them say she murdered, was in the stadium today. Stumpy. That's their name, Stumpy. Stumpy parents was in the station. So all you hear them attack. She is the mother of the South African Revolution. Them can't take with that from her. Can't take with that from her. You understand? She is respected. She is respected by all revolutionaries. All of them. So, no matter what them say, we can't allow them to tell we who must sanctify and saint. We can't allow them to do that. And that's that them want to do. Them want to decide who we praise and who we not for praise. We don't go with that. The people them are wake up to this reality. This is the Cutting Edge on RFM. Virgin still I make music. Believe it or not, him still I make music. It's just that the kind of music we make is not sometimes a whole heap of one, this track especially. Now go and play it because it does sound different. And I love the difference. I love the difference. Okay, here we go. Alright, sir. Yes, we're there with you. African people, I want to do. Things that get away, but things that get a nice way too. Yeah, we see some serious move I'm making in Africa, man. I mean, when I hear about them over here, so still, but we see some serious move are going. But then now there's an epidemic. In America, in England, where we hardly see any big headline in Jamaica, but it really created a devastation amongst, especially in Hackney. For those of you who know England, you know, so since me up there, one weekend, a 7 stabbing me here, go on. 7 stabbing. For those of you who don't know where I go on in England, we are use gun down here and shoot one another, them are use knife. The youth them are get weird and rough and with knife killing, knife stabbing. I don't know, it's what kind of, I don't know how that come up. I don't know who think up that, say, all right, we're going to stop up one another. Stop, don't stab people. I mean, 2 years ago, last year, I think, there was that thing where you just turn up and a man just pass and stab you. But now the youth, they might get vicious with it. In England, it is the concern of most ones who I spoke to in England, that them to understand what is happening. And them all say, no, the government needs to do something about it. I mean, stabbing. I mean, you stay far from man and shoot him, but for really actually go near a man, fix stab a man, you have to go near to him, you know. That's a vicious thing that. And this is amongst mostly black youth. Mostly black youth. I wonder is where I go on. Very, very serious concern. I know there's nobody, all the people them we are talk about, we are called from America and I call from England, about the things them we are going in Jamaica. I know you them a call and tell people down in Jamaica say, but the amount of youth them we are stop up on another up here, so it's an epidemic, it's a crisis. But it is a crisis. I mean, them can shout loud, but why the youth them don't here kill off one another and them now come back at Jamaica and all them something there. By the way, I made an appeal to the people. When I was in Canada last month, I made an appeal to all the Jamaicans who know that them have land down here and them not coming back. But them grandparents have land down here and them have no intention of coming back, come occupy the land. I did make an appeal on stage that whosoever in the audience want to get rid of the land, them can just sign me up as executor for that piece of land and I will know what to do with it. I never hear nobody come to me and say, Muta, me nah come back at Jamaica, you know, but a whole heap of them know so they nah come back here still, you know. Them nah come back at Jamaica and them have land down here. Well, I did make the same appeal in England. I told the audience that if you don't know, so they're not coming back to Jamaica. Because we know that 1/3 of the Jamaican population is on land where them call them squatter. And we see the Chinese and the Spaniards them and the Mexicans them taking over the coast. And all the good land them that is facing the sea is moving. So the only land that we have now is in the hills and in the mountains, just like first time when we was slaves running away from white people. But there's some good land in Jamaica that some old people, grandparents did own. Like myself, yeah. Who I heal of Love Street. I feel of Love Street. I know I feel of Love Street. Some people occupy me like a legacy road on Love Street there, but trust me, on a safe. Trust me, on a safe, man. Don't we not see if it's Chinese build road, cross the road, go through to Trench Town there. I may have to go collect for that. Anyway, I did make an appeal on stage that anyone in the audience who live in England and knows them not coming back to Jamaica, all them have to do is go to the door and say, we want to Muta to control the land. Well, I want to tell you something. One woman come to me. So I have to go keep in contact with her. One woman come to you, a bigger woman too. She said, I'm not coming back to Jamaica and I have land long there. So I have to figure that one out. I want the promoter do her. Believe you, be. She serious too, you know. She see, you know, so I never see her. I never, so much people, you know, Rasta. But yes, I want to remember that lady. And I know she's going to remember me that she did say she's willing to give up the land. I want papers for it though, you know, papers. I need papers for it. I'm not going to go up there. And after me start do certain things, you hear say, this and that and this and that. No, we don't have that, you know. We want paper for land. Anybody who have land now, you have to have paper. Yes. I just saw it go. So, yes. And we are going to make the appeal again. If you don't know, they're not coming back to Jamaica. Whole heap of Jamaican down here so need some land. And you can't have 5 acre, 2 acre, 1 square of land. And you don't know, so you now come back to Jamaica and the land just dead so. And if somebody go live on it, no, hey, some bad mind thing that go on in Jamaica, you don't know. Because you know, see a piece of land we did there for years. And nobody now occupy it, you know. And a little man just go up on the piece of land and he might try a charge. Plant a couple of banana and dig some yamil and thing and put up a little house and thing. And when them see the man banana, I like some thief in police, you know. Me remember with their country, you know, the police them wait till the ganja reach at 6 months and then they come raid the ganja field, you know. Man, they are care for them ganja and, you know, pet them ganja like woman. And the damn policeman them watch the ganja until it reach like ready for reap. You see them come reap it. And I thought them are burn it up, you know, and some of them mad. One time they locked me up in a central police station. The police are easy, you know. Them locked me up in a central police station. So me tell the policeman bad word. I never tell him no bad word, you know, but in my ear bad word. Because I never used to them all there. And when I go in at the cell, me hear them a jingle jangle around. So me looking at the other cell, it's full of ganja. I don't know which ganja field the man them just read, you know. Full of ganja, you know. I never see so much ganja yet. And 2 toes, it empty out, you know. I mean, know without a doubt, say, them not go burn the whole of that. Them policeman there, nah, burn the whole load of ganja with them find. Especially in them days there. And the same man, them go take back the ganja, go sell back the man who them got grade them ganja field. Because them know, say, man and man, they go do certain little runnings for it and get enough money that they can feed them, pick and family and build up house and them something there. So when we look on it just now, all the things set with these, look what squatter this and squatter that and black people, them are called black people squatter. And then you have some land where them are called crown land. Where they held them land and get ton for ton crown. Queen Elizabeth owned the land. Right now, Queen Elizabeth at 90 years old, she no business about no land in Jamaica. Queen Elizabeth no business about no land in Jamaica. She done so she give away independence. So she know what have nothing to do with Jamaica, you're right, yes or no, unless certain things start to work in the interest of England. Like maybe them find some gold or some diamond mine or some oil well. They see the whole of them run come back. Our successors would have run come back when they hear say gold was found in this and oil was found in this, which it would appear like that going to happen too. Because them find oil in Guyana. Yeah, them find oil in Guyana, so we don't know. What the hell if they ever find oil in Jamaica to the level of Trinidad? Boy, 2-2's Jamaica change immediately. Jamaica that change if they ever find oil in Jamaica like how Trinidad have oil. Can you believe what is happening in Jamaica? No, I imagine it. But it will be a good move, but it will be a terrible move. It's like the latter scamming. The scamming, the scamming we are going to Montego Bay. In a one way is a good move, but in the next way is a terrible move. Because the youth them so fool. You never see come see. Them never see come see. Man when I have nothing get something and for God say him never have nothing and then now become like say him have everything. Some man get vicious and vile and covetous and envious when him should have really know what set up himself for him picnic them. Him turn wicked and go kill people and then people come kill him and him come kill the next person and it just a vicious cycle that no government have to go down there now with for them people them for go kill them. Who go and guard the guard? So, I don't know. It have to work out. It have to work out. This is the cutting edge on RFM. Very, very precious. We have to know what we are doing. We can't just keep doing the same thing the same way all the while expect to get a different result. We have to think different.
Welcome to Top 10 Archive. Between greenhouse gases and carbon dioxide emissions, we've done quite the number on our wondrous planet. And while we've all had a hand in polluting our own world, there are certain countries that play a bigger part than others. To educate, inform, and maybe terrify our readers, we're pointing fingers at the 10 countries with the highest pollution emission. Number 10, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia makes up a measly 1.3% of the world's overall CO2 emissions. But it's a surprising number, considering the comparatively smaller population of just under 29 million. As with most countries, the burning of fossil fuels adds a great deal of pollution in the form of CO2. But there's more to Saudi Arabia's environmental pollution than that. The country's production of over 50 million tons of cement in 2013, a drastic jump from 26 million tons in 2005, as well as being one of the world's largest petroleum producers, has played a significant part in Saudi Arabia's role in world pollution emissions. Number 9, Indonesia. With a population nearing 250 million people, a heavy intake of electronic waste, and the routine burning of crops for the production of pulp, palm oil, and paper, Indonesia has quite the hand in the world's emission of pollutants. In regards to CO2 pollution alone, Indonesia accounts for 1.4% of total emissions at 510,000 kilotons emitted on an annual average. Things are so bad in Indonesia that it is known for being home of two of the world's most polluted areas, Kalimantan and Citarum River Basin. The persistence and hazard of the polluted haze from the frequent fires has even forced schools to close and infants to be evacuated from Indonesian cities. Number 8, Canada. Everybody loves Canada, right? Well, maybe not Mother Nature, so long as the country continues on its path of environmental destruction. Like Saudi Arabia, Canada's hand in CO2 emissions may seem small at 1.5% of the world's total, but the 550,000 kilotons is an emission per capita of 15.7%, considering the 35 million people it houses. According to Canada's own environmental conscience website, Environment Canada, major factors in the country's pollution output include an increase in localized industry and seemingly harmless things like road salt and chemicals used in dry cleaning clothing. In regards to prevention, Canada's National Pollutant Release Inventory offers a range of resources to avert further damage to the environment. Number 7, South Korea. Producing almost 2% of the world's CO2 emissions, South Korea definitely has environmental issues of its own it needs to square away. A portion of South Korea's overall air pollution does come from China in the form of arsenic-carrying dust, but that's not to say it's innocent. Coal-firing plants in the country are a major cause to the elevated carbon dioxide levels and creation of the lung-damaging ultrafine dust. In Seoul specifically, residents are advised to have protective masks on hand should a desert dust blow in and react with nitrogen and sulfur oxides emitted from power plants to form ultrafine dust. Number 6. Germany. It may be hard to refrain from making a Volkswagen joke about now, but truth be told, Germany's pollution problems stem a bit beyond car manufacturing, though it should be said that elevated diesel pollution has been observed, which has played a role in the country's 3% contribution to the world's pollution problem. One city in particular, Stuttgart, experiences spikes in nitrogen dioxide pollution that brings the annual level to over double what's considered an acceptable threshold. As with much of the rest of the world, Germany's CO2 contribution stems from fossil fuel consumption and waste emission, though the country has been seeing slight drops in CO2 levels, with a 4.3% drop of the country's total pollutants from 2013 to 2014. Number 5. Japan. The air quality in Japan has certainly taken some big hits throughout history, from Hiroshima to Fukushima, but a portion of the country's problem with pollutants comes from its own practices. Though Japan has some of the strictest regulations when it comes to sulfur dioxide and nitrogen emissions, the country houses 70% of the world's waste incinerators. With the incineration of waste, dioxins are emitted into the air, increasing the risks of cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. An additional source that attributes to urban pollution includes Japan's use of nuclear energy, though the emission of greenhouse gases are generally smaller than common practices like coal burning. Despite the use of nuclear energy, Japan still accounts for 4% of the world's CO2 emissions. Number 4. Russia. 5% of the world's CO2 emissions comes from Russia. And when you get down to the nitty-gritty of how the government once viewed pollution, it's a surprise that level isn't much higher. At one time, Russian government officials believed that concern and regulation over pollutants were not worth considering if it meant a slowdown of economic advancement. By the 1990s, approximately 40% of Russian territory felt the effects of this mindset and was under moderately high environmental stress. Russia still faces inefficient energy usage and emission from fossil fuel use, though the Ministry of Fuels and Energy reports that carbon emission can be cut by 25% through upgraded equipment. Number 3. India. Approximately 6% of the world's CO2 emissions comes from India, but it also has one of the lowest emission per capita numbers due to its larger population of over 1.2 billion people. Regardless, the country faces an ecological crisis due to the burning of fossil fuels, more specifically diesel from vehicles and factories. It's a small role in the big picture, but Hindu cremation practices are also a hindrance to the environment, as the public burning of a deceased person releases carbon dioxide and mercury. Families also utilize cow manure and other agricultural waste as cooking fuel, meaning each household practicing these methods are contributing to the country's overall pollution. Number 2. United States. Making up about 15% of the world's total CO2 emissions, the United States produces over an approximate 5 million kilotons of CO2 a year. In 2014, the American Lung Association reported that around half of the United States' 300-plus million population was living in areas of dangerously high air pollution levels. Beyond just CO2 emissions, warmer temperatures are causing an increase in ozone levels in cities like Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, and Las Vegas. What's causing the increase in air pollution in the states? Everything from overuse of fossil fuels to oil spills to pesticides have all played a part in crippling the country's environment. Number 1. China. China being at number 1 is probably not a huge surprise, but it's still shocking to know that nearly 30% of the entirety of the world's CO2 emissions, or twice that of the United States, comes from this country. With a population of over 1.3 billion people and cities almost completely covered in a hazardous smog, China is constantly facing an environmental crisis, so much so that it's believed that only 1% of the country's city population is breathing air considered safe by European Union standards. A reliance on coal burning for heat, an increase in industrial plant usage, and unfortunate weather patterns that don't allow for the escape of pollution have made parts of the country dangerous to live in. Were you surprised to see a certain country on this list? Do you have an idea for a future Top 10 video? Let us know in the comments section below. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and our website, top10archive.net. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with all of your family and friends.
REFM, thought-provoking.
It is everywhere. We need it. We want it. We even find it in places where we wouldn't expect it. When researchers examined the stomach of a beached sperm whale in 2012, they found 30 square meters of tarpaulin, a 4.5 meter long hose, a 9 meter long plastic rope, and 2 flower pots. How is this possible? On average, a European uses and disposes of more than 100 kilograms of plastic per year. A large part of plastic waste ends up on huge landfills or in the sea. Today, more than 100 million tons of plastic is drifting around the oceans. Due to particular currents in the Pacific Ocean, a new continent has been born. A mass of plastic waste the size of Europe. In some areas of the oceans, there is up to 60 times as much plastic as there is plankton. Because plastic does not rot, it lasts up to 500 years. Through exposure to sun, wind, and water, plastic is broken down into microscopic parts. These plastic particles can absorb high concentrations of agricultural and industrial toxins. Many animals mistake the plastic for plankton and eat their fill. Every year, more than 100,000 turtles, marine mammals, and seabirds die a slow and painful death because they starve with a full stomach or because their intestines rupture. Other marine creatures in whose cells plastic and toxins have accumulated end up as seafood on our plates. The smallest form of plastic are microplastics. They are added to cosmetics, shower gels, and toothpastes. A tube of toothpaste contains up to 10% microplastics. The sewage plants cannot filter microplastics, so they too end up in the sea. In the making of plastic, hazardous chemicals are used in order to enhance elasticity of fire resistance. Bisphenol A, plasticizers, or flame retardants are contained in almost every plastic product. Through exposure to heat, the wrong detergents, or simply over time, plastic will go brittle, thus releasing these chemicals, which in turn, through the airways, ingestion, or through mere touch, find their way into the human body. The consequences are severe. They include increased risk of cancer, asthma, infertility, and developmental disorders. The plastic industry tries to cover up any scandals and runs a gigantic lobbying campaign in order to prevent stricter laws or inquiries. Plastic factories are veritable fortresses. The plastic production process a tightly kept secret. This is one of the reasons why no one is exactly sure what substances are added to the plastic. Over the course of the last 10 years, only 11 chemical substances could be analyzed out of a total of 100,000 possible additives. But there is hope yet. Intelligent robot nets, or fishing boats converted to floating recycling factories, are intended to cleanse the oceans. Bioplastic made of maize or starch could replace conventional plastic. However, its production consumes valuable food, so it's no solution for satisfying the global demand for plastic. This is why you must radically change your consumption behavior. Pay attention to the packaging of products. Substitute paper or cloth bags for plastic bags. Don't throw away old plastic, but recycle it and use plastic-free products. Are we going to allow the destruction of the earth to continue? If we act now, there may still be hope for future generations, before the miracle material definitely turns on its creator.
Cutting edge with MUTABARUKA. We are listening to our laments. You know here, cutting edge, the edge, the edge.
I think that when we talk about race, we tend to focus on individual acts of prejudice, which is why UKIP often come up, because they'll overtly say stuff that we find offensive. But unfortunately, the issue of race, if we understand it, is a lot more insidious. And it takes a lot more of a historical view to understand the difference between individual bias and structural racism and privilege. And the idea of Great Britain was intimately tied to the fact that Britain's invaded almost every country on the earth, literally. No, literally, there's a map, you can Google it. And so the idea of our greatness was intimately tied to this idea of empire, which was intimately tied to what Rudyard Kipling calls the white man's burden, to go and civilize all these stupid brown folks that have been writing and having civilizations for thousands of years. But let's forget all of that. And so if we fast forward to today, when we talk about structural racism in Britain, do we have the same institutional disparities in rates of imprisonment that they have in America? Yes, absolutely we do. Do we have the same disparities in terms of who's dying in police custody? Yes, indeed we do. In 2011, we were told we loved Libyans so much we wanted to bomb democracy into them. Less than 5 years later, we're leaving people fleeing the same conflict to drown in the sea, while giving a woman space in a national newspaper to refer to them as cockroaches. And when you refer to humans as cockroaches, that is a mandate for murder. Let's be clear about that. The moment human beings become non-human, that is a mandate for murder, and there's a long historical parallel with that. Today, Germany, the country that bombed this country, you know, in our grandparents' lifetimes, so theoretically the grandchildren of Nazis can get in and out of England easier than the grandchildren of people from the Commonwealth who fought against the Nazis. And where do they come from? When we talk about immigrants, do we mean people from Australia and New Zealand? Didn't Boris Johnson go to Australia and say, hey, we're culturally the same? Was he talking about the Aborigines when he said that?
We call them expats.
Right. White people have such a different way of classifying themselves that white immigrants are expats and non-white immigrants are immigrants. So when we say immigrants, if we go to border control, we can go there, Yarlswood, and we go and look at who's there. It's not a bunch of white people from New Zealand. So we have structural forms of privilege and bias that are much more insidious and much more difficult to overcome. The reaction to Africans and Asians coming here post-World War II, to rebuild the country after the Queen's German cousins bombed it, the reaction to them was one of general hatred. It's illogical. These people who had formerly been colonized by Britain had fought in both world wars. India gave 2.5 million volunteers, for those who don't know. When we talk about being saved by America in the war, we want to talk about being saved by India and Russia. That would be a bit more accurate. But that's a bit inconvenient. But the reaction to those people and their descendants has been one that is about structural bias and privilege. The greatest metaphor for this might be Canary Wharf and Tower Hamlets. Sure. If you look at that predominantly Bengali community that has to look at Canary Wharf every day, how many of those people work in Canary Wharf other than to clean toilets?
I only got into that through grime. So the first thing, I'm listening to grime records and they're all rapping about E14.
Yeah.
And I'm going, where's that? And I'm like, Canary Wharf?
Yeah, they're definitely not rapping about I suppose what I'm saying is not about saying that there's bias and bigotry everywhere in the world. The country my grandparents come from, it's pretty much generally accepted that they don't like gay people. But what's interesting, race even plays a role in that. In Jamaica, we have disgraceful homophobia. No one ever says it's because of Christian fundamentalism. Because even though it is justified in explicitly Christian fundamentalist terms, because only Muslims do bad stuff because of their religion. Because we know almost all the Muslims in the world are brown. Whereas when a German wings pilot crashes and kills 150 people deliberately, or the man in Norway killed nearly 90 people. I was in Australia when that happened. This is how uniform the agreement is, that white people will be portrayed differently. The Australian media referred to Andres Breivik as having terrorist-like tactics.
Yeah.
I mean, to think about that. Yeah. This guy killed almost 100 people, and he's just almost a terrorist.
And he'd written a crazy thing about Muslims.
Oh, it's very clear. I mean, he was a terrorist by any standard. The idea that white is right isn't just a European idea. It's an idea that has had insidious implications, because no matter what, the 700 people that were left to drown off the coast of the Mediterranean, were they white human beings, they wouldn't have been left to drown. And they certainly wouldn't be called cockroaches.
R.E.F.M. Thought-provoking, always smoking, lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to MUTABARUKA.
Most radical African, what them call African-American artists I know about, Nina Simone. Yeah, man, if you watch the life story of Nina Simone, man, it's unbelievable woman. I remember, and I was there, in an arena, them stone her off a stage. Or not stone, them use his cup and all these things, because she come on And I remember the time, I never forget it. She come on and I sing. But Jamaican people, a two tune Jamaican people know when Nina Simone sing. Young, gifted and black, and my baby don't care for me. And she was there singing her heart and soul out and playing this piano. And the people them are wait for your young, gifted and black. The people them are wait for your my baby, and them not hear that. May I tell you, some piece of coverage on that stage there. Unbelievable. But this woman, Nina Simone, one of the great artists of all times. And physically, one of the greatest, one of the most radical, revolutionary in music, Nina Simone.
This is Onyx, and I want to share a piece that I wrote a few years ago called Immaculate Misconception. Sister J was kind enough to allow me to put this on her page, so here is Immaculate Misconception. From motherland to foreign land, from beaded necklaces to chains, from Africans to Americans, from warriors to slaves, from ritual to religion, from culture to Christ. From my shade to amen, they said Jesus died for our sins. How can we believe their white God died to save our black skin? Knowing they hate us the way that they do, they'd never worship a God they didn't believe hated us too. We choose to worship their God. We worship him more than they do. Yet our ancestors suffered, their masters tortured and beat them, made them bow to their knees and surrender to Jesus. But we don't honor our ancestors for the blood that they shed. We sit in church crying with Christians because Jesus suffered and bled. We don't look to our history for truth. We look to their Bible instead. But it's time for truth to be spoken. Something's got to be said. Something's got to be said. It's time we tear down their lie. Something's got to be said. It's time we do more than survive. Something's got to be said, for it's time we remember we're not African Americans, blacks, coloreds, or niggers. We're African people who strayed way too far. We're African people. We deny that we are because flowing like poison, their religion has spread, growing like cancer by our ignorance fed. We've been manipulated, lied to, deceived, and misled to the point that our ancestors' voices are dead. It's time we connect with our ancestors, disconnect their religion. Our ancestors were Africans before they were Christians. Our ancestors were Africans before they were slaves. It's time we start living and thinking the African way. In spite of what we've been taught, it's time to forget what we learned. It's time for truth to be spoken, but for truth to be heard, something's got to be said to cause our thinking to change. Somebody's got to say something. I've got something to say. Before Adam and Eve, before Abel and Cain, long before Noah's Ark, before the floods and the rains, before Abraham, Isaac, Moses, Joseph, and Jacob, before Samson, Delilah, Goliath, and David, before the prodigal son returned to his home, before the children of Israel for 40 years roamed, before resurrection, redemption, rebirth, and religion, before Christians created chaos and division, before a biblical fairy tale was accepted as true, before the Testament old, before a Testament new, there was Osar and Aset, Heteru, Geb, and Sebek, Heru, Seker, Tahudi, Amen, Herikahudi, and Ma'at were the principles guiding our ancestors' lives. Not a religion whose God was hung on a cross left to die. Our ancestors listened to spirit, and by spirit were led. Not by a book trimmed in gold, words of Christ written in red. Our ancestors walked in and lived in a spiritual dimension beyond Jesus Christ's understanding or their God's comprehension. By the time a virgin named Mary gave birth to a Savior named Jesus, our ancestors had constructed the Sphinx and built the pyramids of Egypt. Their white folks stole us and sold us and told us, surrender. They called us unworthy, called us ungodly sinners. They told us our God was a heathen and we practiced a pagan religion. Their God commanded they practice a form of cannibalism. Taking Holy Communion in remembrance of his death, they drank their God's blood. They ate their God's flesh. They arrested innocent women, put them in prison, charged them with crimes they'd never committed. In the name of their pagan religion, they told lies so convincing when they put these women on trial, no one would defend them. These women healed those who were sick before modern medicine existed through a method of healing which we call holistic. Yet these daughters and wives and mothers of children were unjustly tried and unjustly sentenced. And it was the Christians who preached, thou shalt not bear false witness, who falsely accused them and convicted them as witches. It was the Christians who judged them and sentenced them to die. It was Christians who tied them to stakes and burned them alive. It was Christians who said they were evil and followers of Satan. It was the Christians who murdered those women in Salem. And the same Christian who started the witch hunt crusades wrote the Bible they lived by. His name was King James, meaning the God of the Christians allowed his words to be written by hands washed in the blood of innocent women. And in this Bible we trust that never acknowledges us. Not from the first word in Genesis to the last word in Revelations does our Bible mention our people, our history, our nation. Not one chapter, one verse, not one scripture, one sentence. So how could their God have created Africans in his image? Because if their Bible is true, Africans never existed. Their Bible says by his power, Jesus raised up the dead. Their Bible says by his power, 5,000 people were fed. Their Bible says by his power, Jesus turned water to wine. He healed those who were crippled, gave sight to the blind. By his power, he opened deaf ears and the mute may speak. But where does it say by his power, he unshackled our ancestors' feet? Where does it say by his power that he set our ancestors free? Where does it explain why his power still ain't set us free? We're not free as a people because we're still believing their lie. They don't need to shackle our feet. Their religion has shackled our minds. I don't care what you believe. They believe in a God with white skin. And if it's their God that you're serving, it makes no difference to them whether we're saved or we're slaves. It really don't matter. Because in their minds, we're still serving a white man as our master. So if you believe you're a Christian, if you believe John 3:16, if you believe their God is your God and his death set you free, then why did your God perform miracles to free the children of Israel, never even attempted to free your African people? Why did your God curse the Egyptians and take their riches away and let the Christians get wealthy, selling your ancestors as slaves? If their God, who's your God, loved you so much he died, then explain this to me. Tell me why your God freed the children of Israel from slavery by killing all the firstborn Egyptians. But when your ancestors were in bondage, enslaved by the Christians, when Christian hands locked their shackles, when Christian hands held the keys, why didn't your God kill their firstborn to set your ancestors free? And if hanging Jesus on a cross was to save you and me, who are our ancestors saving as they hung from the trees? If Jesus saved us by suffering in hell for 3 days and 3 nights, who are our ancestors saving by suffering each day of their life? If beating Jesus with a whip was to save us from sin, who are our ancestors saving as whips tore open their skin? Who are our great-grandmothers saving as they were raped and violated? Who are our great-grandfathers saving as they were stripped and castrated? Why were our ancestors tortured? Why were our ancestors slaves? They suffered far more than Jesus, but not even themselves could they save. So how can we as their descendants spit in our ancestors' face by serving a God who ignored them as they screamed for his mercy and grace? How can we as their descendants call Christians our sisters and brothers when they snatched our African babies out of the arms of our African mothers? How can we as their descendants bow down and give praise to the God of a people who stole our language, our name, stole our culture, our heritage, our spirit, our will, then in our face shoved their Bible and told us, thou shalt not steal? How can we as their descendants, the God of our ancestors, reject, but give our glory and honor and praise and respect to a cross they burned as they slip ropes around our ancestors' necks? How can we as their descendants believe Christianity could save us when the Christians who preached it were the ones who enslaved us?
REFM, thought-provoking, always
glory
smoking.
And honor and praise and respect
Lyrics.
to a cross they burned as they slip ropes around our ancestors' necks. How can we as their descendants believe Christianity could save us when the Christians who preached it were the ones who enslaved us? Respect to a cross they burned as they slip ropes around our ancestors' necks. How can we as their descendants believe Christianity could save us when the Christians who preached it were the ones who enslaved us?
REFM, thought-provoking, always smoking. Lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to MUTABARUKA.
May I tell you, we are the lion. If the lion could only tell their story, the scenario would be totally different. But we say it's time the lion start telling his own story now, you know. He has been hunted for so long and been, they put so much things upon the lion as a savage beast. Yet still they were the ones who came into his space and killed him and went back to Europe and put him head on the wall as a trophy. Still going on now. The lions are endangered species. I have some culprit Africans, Zimbabwe and all these places, who's helping them to kill these endangered species. The lion is an endangered species right now. The time is 12 o'clock in Jamaica.
Come to Jamaican Roots and Culture. I'm Pat Clarke. It is with fond memories that Jamaican adults look back at the games that they played when they were children. There are some childhood games that even now adults would play at the drop of a hat. Bull in a pen is one such game. The game is a bit aggressive. It involves a group of children forming a strong and tight ring around a child in the middle who is playing the part of a bull, trying to break out of the pen. The children on the outside who form the ring represent the pen that the bull is locked in and trying to break out of. The children who form the ring are taunting the child in the middle and chanting, "Bull in a pen, can't come out. Bull in a pen, can't come out. Bull in a pen, can't come out." The child who forms the weakest part of the link, which allows the bull to get out, has to take the center to become the next bull that is locked in the pen. Another popular game was Stack-a-Lee. In this game, the children are allocated numbers, and Stack-a-Lee is trying to determine who stole the cookie from the cookie jar. Zim, 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 I'm Stack-a-Lee. Who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? Then the children who are numbered try to deflect blame, indicating that another number other than their own stole the cookie from the cookie jar. Who, me? Yeah, you. Couldn't be. Then is who? Number 3 stole the cookie from the cookie jar. You mean me? Yeah, you. Couldn't be. Then is who? Number 5 stole the cookie from the cookie jar. And the game goes on and on, with the participants going to all lengths to convince Stack-a-Lee that they are innocent. As we remember the childhood games of yesteryears, another popular game that was enjoyed mainly by girls in the good old days was jacks. There are some girls who had the opportunity to play the game with fancy jacks sets with brightly colored jacks and multicolored handballs. Others had to use little jacks balls with stones or any other implements that they could find. The idea was trying to see how many jacks you could pick up while doing fancy hand tricks like flipping the jacks from the palm of your hand to the back of your hand while at the same time bouncing and picking up the handball. It was a game that called for concentration and skill. And now, to end Jamaican Roots and Culture, here's our famous quotation from the Black diaspora. "The friend of a fool is a fool. The friend of a wise person is another wise person." A proverb from the Hosea tribe of Africa. For Jamaican Roots and Culture, I'm Pat Clarke.
When a pen can't come out. Yeah, remember that one clear. Serious thing. Asham all fall down. I tell you, ring a rosy. Them game there, from them time there. Okay. The slave miller grind slow and it grinding still. This is the cutting edge on RFM. We're there with you. I can say we are going over here. So, you're going to like the person up on the foot. The person up on the person up on my phone. You're supposed to sleep, you know. You're not supposed to. She said that tune and wake her up. You can't call for my cell phone for go for the radio. You know, understand that? She said the tune wake her up and I must play it again. What a song. May I tell you, man? Yeah.
Who is? Hello?
Yes?
Muta?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, you call me program and ask who this? Oh, you call me program and ask who this?
No, you wait so long, me wait about 10 minutes.
No, sir, I'm just click. Anyway, what go on? How this?
Nothing much. I just a say, man, you know how much years me spend thinking a good night out is like boogie-woogie till 4 o'clock in the morning and things. And now me a 6'2". And me just take 4 cushions from my bed and listen to Cutting Edge.
Eh? And you're 60 how much?
62 now, Muta, man. You should have known that.
Yeah, 52. I have 2 pillar.
62.
Oh, 6'2".
Yeah.
And where's about the pillar them? Where you put the pillar them?
On my head.
Okay. Where you put the pillar on, then which part of the pillar for go?
Then where best place at?
Them people don't usually put pillar under them head.
No, man. When you get old, you put it under your foot, too.
Oh, yes?
Yeah.
At 62, you put it on.
Circulation.
Okay. You have bad circulation.
You come home.
Yes, me there.
All right. Nice show about winning Mandela, man.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good. Yeah, it's nice to hear them stand up in the sister them, you know.
Oh, you mean? Of course.
You know.
She was revolution in South Africa, man. So where you call from?
Hanover as usual, man. Me there Hanover.
Okay. All right. Well, so you put the thing the underneath your head. Then you hear the radio. Where the radio there?
Me not lie down for my ears, Muta. Me lie down for my head back.
Me don't know. Maybe you have things in your ears. I listen, me don't know. Like, how would people put things in their ears now for your radio, you know? Them nobody make nobody else hear.
Me not that's it.
Okay. So where your husband there?
Say that again?
Where your husband there?
Boy, I try them, me have a divorce to try them.
Them are no good man, right?
Boy, no.
Can't bother.
Me can't work with that, you know.
Okay.
No,
Maybe I you have tried them
no
separate. Maybe you should have to try them one time.
No, that wouldn't work either.
That not gonna work either.
That not gonna work either. Only 2 hands me have.
What? Yeah, 2 hands? Weird. And come up with that. We don't understand that. And come up with that.
Because them would get jealous if you can't hug up the 3 of them one time.
Oh, you can't do that, man. You can't hug up the 3 of them one time, man. Trust me. You're not a pillar, man.
Serious though, Muta. You know, you really make my week, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Me have to stay up and listen to you every Wednesday night.
Yeah. So you listen Thursday?
Huh?
You know, listen Thursday. You work Thursday?
Me listen Thursday too, man. Me listen Thursday.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's what me know when you come on and talk to Roger.
Okay.
Thursday.
Yeah, when we're in England.
Yeah, and you bring back some of the points that were made the night before about winning Mandela.
Yes.
You know, and the kind of struggle she faced in South Africa.
Yeah, man. Yes.
And, you know, it's something that's just very close to my heart because I never like how them treat her.
Yeah, we never like it neither. After she in a prison, after she in a 1 year solitary confinement, she, you know.
Yes. And
you imagine
certain things people don't understand about women. Like, you know, them took away that woman's sanitary napkin.
Look here, I can tell you something, man. If you in a little space 1 year with not see nobody, nah communicate with nobody, you must mad when you come out, you know.
Yes, man.
What you mean, man?
Yes, man. And then they send her away to her old homeland where she never know nobody.
Yeah.
And then tell all the people in this village, say they know to talk to her.
Yes. And then no people come talk this and talk that.
Talk to her.
Yeah, man. Anyway,
no, man, people do some serious things, man, and me never like how them treat her.
Yeah.
After Mandela come out of prison, me never like what happened to Winnie.
Me never like how him treat her neither.
No, yes. Me never like it.
All right, Mama, give thanks. Say you listen so keenly.
Yes.
Me like how you listen keenly, man.
Well, when you lay a hand over in a motor, there's not much left to do when you're 62, you know.
Look here. I can tell you something. You left England. Right?
Come back.
You left England. I mean, just come from England. And I can't realize why you didn't have to left England. I didn't realize you must have to left England because, you know, I know your climate that.
No, couldn't take the cold.
But you take you up there so long? Because
every year I come home for winter. Me always there Hanover every winter.
Me know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad for you. I'm going to see you next week. Me say the thing about
Yes, I look forward forward to that, Muta.
All right, Mama, give
For a long
thanks.
time, me want the poetry come together with the agriculture, because you know when I did to plant, I
No, no, you to plant or not to plant is the question of a fool.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
man. Yeah, man.
So that's why I'm glad to be part of this festival, you know?
All right, give thanks.
Yeah, man.
So, you know, you plant. Tell me something. Wait, hold on. You plant?
Where I am now, I don't have no land.
Okay. Then if you capture
that's
some,
another
man.
thing I wanted to say to you, you know?
Yeah.
White people know what they was doing when they take away with land, you know? Because, like, you can imagine that man, you cut off him 2 foot.
Yeah.
And can't stand up, and can't walk,
Walk,
and
can't do
do
nothing.
That's what happened to it when they take with land.
Yeah, yeah. A land
And
of
the
power, you know.
people
Land of the
Jamaica
power.
with no land.
Yeah, land is the power, man.
It is the power.
Yes, yes.
Like them cut off with 2 foot motor when them take away the land.
But you want to know, a whole heap of crown land in here, you're in the channel, go capture some.
A two. But it's hard to do that when you have 62, you know.
Not no wrong
You
with
can't
that.
manage the hills no more.
All right, Mama.
Yeah, man. So me have to just celebrate people like Rastakura and chant it from the stage, you know.
All right.
So.
Give thanks to you.
Yes, I. One love here, Muta. All the best.
Yes, give thanks.
I see you in a couple of weeks in Port Antonio.
Yeah, Harry. Yeah, that is Dr. Jean Breeze. Yeah, for those of you who don't know Breeze, great poet, playwright and everything where you can think about. Doctor. Yes. Okay. We did the on this tune right now. Where the tune there? Aye, sir. Make her go over to this one. No, I don't want it never done. You never done. Jean Breeze, come stop it. Hello.
Hello.
Blessed.
Muta.
Yeah, mama there.
Blessed love, man.
How is it?
I don't know if you remember about 6 years ago. Me call you.
From down St. Anne, yeah? Are you called from St. Anne?
No, man.
Okay.
A long time me call you and I tell you, so me and the biggest ganja smoker in the Jamaica. Should I tell you, so the world?
You're the biggest ganja smoker in Jamaica?
Possibly the whole world.
You serious?
Yes.
If I could have show you a picture, I'd show you a picture of one brethren we have a chillum in our mouth. They look like look like a chimney where Santa could have dry water long in our mouth, full of ganja and smoke it.
When me I say I know, you know, you did cut me off. To me is not a good talker, you know.
Okay.
Well, when me I say, you know, me should I did tell you the basic thing. Say, well, boy, me have a world record. The only man who defied the mandate of the United Nations. Because don't them say when you get a mandatory sentence, you have to do it.
Mandatory, yeah. Well, if them say mandatory, yes.
Well,
you never do it.
I man never do it, you know.
Where sentence get sentenced for?
The ganja.
Okay. How much? 18 months?
Yeah.
Okay.
But me never do it.
How much you do?
I don't know at all.
Okay. Well, you never get it then?
Yeah, man.
The judge say you must serve.
I have the manifesto here, you know.
The judge say you must serve
now.
18 months. The judge say you must serve 18 months.
Eh?
The judge say you must serve 18 months.
Yeah.
Now you go to court and everything.
Yeah, man, and get the sentence.
Well, maybe the judge, through you that smoke the herbs, him never see you.
yeah, man, because you see, after me get it, I in the jail for 3 days and put me a condemned cell, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, my brother, me and him born the same week. I'm 86-year-old now, you know.
Eh?
Yeah, man.
You sound like 85. Yes, so like 85.
Let me say, I don't know.
May I listen, man?
Eh?
May I listen?
You see, when me go a big man, after me get bail, every one of them knows, so well, then me supposed to get it, you know. Because you see, the big man give me the biggest from a liar. My ass flesh of God.
Okay.
Aye. So when him send me up at the office at Duke Street, the man there, the big liar, there the doorway wait for me, you know. So when he asks me who I go on, and me tell him. So him say it don't make sense again. Because it's a mandatory sentence and me must have to do it.
Yeah.
So me tell the man, say, boy, I'm going to tell you a thing what to do, you know. The man say, what? You going to instruct me, man? Say, man, the king of Japan, Sunday of Vietnam, right now, I rub him sentence for just a little spliff, you know.
The king of Japan, son?
Yeah.
Okay.
The king of Japan, in calling him, never remember.
Yeah. That's not the lie I tell you.
Yeah. Anyway, when we go back at the liar, to the case, same I will give me a barrister. That time, I was 1972, you know. Somewhere there. Anyway, when we go at the liar, that time the law just changed. The man charged me $210, you know, Muta.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, sir, that me I say, right, the man you book me for hell, you know. So me just write down on piece of paper. Because me didn't meet him at one bar with half of the money. You know, remember if me did bring the 100 or the 110. You hear me?
Yeah, man, I listen, man.
Anyway, when me show him, say, when me show him the paper, when me write down what I want him to do. Because I realize the mandatory sentence, it said, I must have to do it. And after the man charged me the 210, tell me, I said, boy, the man book me for hell, you know. So I write down what I want him to do. And if he didn't meet him at one bar, East Road and Campus Road corner.
But where you write down say must do?
To check a lawyer. And that lawyer to check Michael Mandela. And Mandela to check Governor General. And
Governor General check the Queen.
Anyway, after me give the man me give him tell him what we give him the paper when me write on what him to do. The man had a cure whiskey. You know, drink and no liquor, man, you know, me a rub, man. And boy, me I tell you, say, when me drink the liquor, the man spend about a half hour to write it, a review when me write on what him to do. And he look for me and say, Mr. Chong, don't give me no more money, you know, because this thing I look like it can't work. Anyway, one evening after me, I drive trailer for my brother and Chinaman at home, named Vic Sevialage. So one Friday evening when me drive up, I think I'm 75 now, you know, 1975. I drive trailer all along, you know, and I rub the sentence, you know. Yeah. So when we drive up and go see my ex-wife, out of my garage gate, the man when we work with, at time for him garage there, Walton Park and I forgot where road the name now. The road where Ninja upon the Ninja man. Anyway, when me ask him that I have a police and near Lagi of me under surveillance, you know. You hear me?
Yeah, man, but come like the story will take long, man.
No. Anyway, when me ask the woman, when me see the woman at my garage gate, me say, what you do ya? She said, Lord, them a come to you. So when me just jump out of the trailer same time, you know, me say, when me and she a walk off to go home, that time we not live too far from there, you know. The man, me ask him how she knows that them a come to me. If a Lagi come tell him that I policeman near Lagi. She said, no, I want letter. I said, letter? She said, yeah. That time the idiot woman even look for me and she said, man, pinning card for the envelope, you know. I said, we meet him at the corner. She said, me have the manifesto when me have it right now, you know. So when we meet the man out of the corner, the evening, the man hugged me up and said, boy, this is a world record of the highest order. That is the first man ever do a thing like this.
So where did it do? I just you write this something to Michael Manley?
No, man, me write it. And give the liar, man, him dead now.
Yeah, forgive Michael Manley.
Eh?
Forgive Michael Manley.
Yeah, no, forgive, he was the ex-minister of Labour, I think named Lyndell Newland.
You give the liar, forgive Newland, forgive Michael Manley, forgive the Governor General.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a great thing them say you do this so.
Huh?
That is the thing where you say them say is a great thing you do.
Me not hear so good, you know.
No, me said that is the thing where you say them say you do a great thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say boy, is the first man ever accomplish such a feat. Yeah, you hear me?
So who get you off of the ganja deal now? Who get you off?
We never get off, right?
They you know say you never get spend the 18 months.
Hey, well, no, a big man, you know. The same big man will send me at the they send me to film lawyer. I ask for a garden.
Oh.
So me tell him say if contact Minister of Labour.
Yeah.
Newland. And to contact the big man. And the big man we send them to Michael Manley. And Michael will at the time a glass bowl at the
Governor General.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
When we have the manifesto the other day when them open the ganja pharmacy down at Jacksale. I think it's a journalist from your firm.
So you did that?
No.
So why you never go?
Yeah, old man.
You mean 82 years old, 85 you say?
Yeah, 86 now, man.
Oh, you can't move?
Yeah, I can't just barely move, you know.
Okay.
Because I broke up all about, you know.
So what am your children them? Where your children them there?
Me no children.
Oh, so who they around you?
I catch amongst my sister, Amanda Blair now, you know.
Okay.
But me have the manifesto here, you know, with Governor General taking water. And I feel free, you know.
Okay.
So I call you to tell you now, say.
Yeah, me hear you, man.
Say
you're the first man.
You're the first man in history.
We get a mandatory sentence, I know do it.
And don't do a day out of it.
All right, sir. Give thanks. All right, here?
Yeah, man.
Call again, man.
Anyhow, if you want the proof right, you know.
No, me not disbelieve you. Yeah, enough proof, man. Me not disbelieve you.
The damn man live there right now.
Yeah, but me can't drive come down there right now.
You want me know, man, what me I say?
Me can't come down there. Me can't come down there. Me can't come down there if you look for the proof. Me hear what you say, I mean, believe what you say.
Hey.
Yes, all right?
So me I say, if the other day when we hear them, when I'm out me ganja.
Hello?
Hey.
Yeah, wait a second. The other day when you hear them out the ganja, what?
The journalist down at drugstore, I say, when the man get mandatory sentence, you must have to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't do a day out time.
All right, so you said that already. All right, we have to move now. Phone busy, yeah?
So if you want me name and thing, if you want any proof or such.
No, but me tell you, say, me believe what you say. Me don't need no more proof. Me believe what you say.
Hey.
Me believe what you say, man.
All right.
All right, sir. Give thanks.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Enough respect to yourself.
Yeah, man. Blessed. Go and listen, man. You listen late, man. you set up so late and listen to me, man. And you eat hard.
We listen to you all the while, you know.
Hey. I see me know a lady, she's 90 and she still listen to me. She call me at 2 o'clock. Well, I'm gone. All right. All right. 86, him say 86-year-old, yes, ill.
Good morning, my brother.
Bye. Good morning, mama.
How are you?
I am okay. You sit up them over there, wait, I'll listen to me too.
I am in.
Me don't understand that.
Me tell you, say.
You don't have none for the yard.
I tell you, if me even a call, send something me I do talk to you.
Yeah, you have to me that over there.
How long me in a talk?
And that me I say, me think say.
You get so busy on Thursday.
No, me think say your radio mash up.
Radio mash up which part?
Okay.
I listen to you, man. I listen to you Thursday when you call. You fit in your shoes.
Okay. I mean, I have shoes that about my fit in my shoes. The same stay.
Everything good. Welcome forward.
Yeah, man. Give thanks, man. Give thanks. Give thanks.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone I read over there, so.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, all right.
Me tell you, say, when there's a touch base with you, because for a long time, you know.
Talk.
Yeah.
All right. But we know you listen still, though.
Yeah, man. Yeah, listen from your start.
Eh?
Yeah, listen from your start.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm. All right, to take care.
All right. Give thanks.
Enough love.
Yes. Yes. I remember.
Yes, man.
There, man.
Yeah, a short point, man. Who is this man? As black as suit. Try the earth, no wear no boot. Conscious Rasta man, wiser than Solomon. Whole as Methuselah. How that? No MUTABARUKA.
Me not no brother. Me not no brother. My brother you talk about.
Oh, come.
Me not no brother, you know.
Me not say brother.
Me have 2 sisters. No, but that poem that sound like you talk about the next brother.
Hey. Earlier on, me asked a boy that good if they find oil. Me don't know about that, you know, sir.
No, me never say that. Me say it can't good and it can't bad. Me never say it's a good thing, you know, because me see what happen. England would want to come back and come out to the land.
He's not really a pessimist, but boy, you know, because me feel say all you do make a politician them more greedy. Them would just greedy and get deeper pocket to come.
Well, maybe Queen Elizabeth will come back for your land, man. And start claiming, say, I'm a family land originally and a family land still. Because he did sign it and give me.
That too.
Yeah. So when them find the oil, them find a little speck of a bubble up somewhere.
I prefer them find the natural gas or something. Because you can imagine all the coastline over that mess up, man.
Well, I tell you.
Oil on the sea or both white place.
Yeah, man. Oil on the road too. Carry skid like mad.
When they talk about me, man, they say they want Chinese property, but say, you can't, it don't make sense. I try to save money, I go bed early to save on the money for buy the candle. If you are going to end up with twin picnic. You know, so, yeah, problem. You know what I'm saying? What they say, I'm bridging the call about down at France, St. Catherine, where I think you say, well, the gold business there. Remember him?
Him come check me, man.
But remember, you know, you come in like everybody the kind of skeptical about it. But you see, them places when them big company there, after them mine and them figure say, you know, economical for spend the money for mine no more. Them left it, you know, and if you go in there after that, you can always find little if you want pan it and.
Well, that's with the diamond mine them in South Africa there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you have a whole a diamond mine where them left now, but you go in there go find some little specks of diamond, and get which are fight said we.
Yeah, man. But him know, them are weird, him have to go look. Maybe on the internet, them must can tell it to because you can, what you call it, if you smelt it. When do that talk about I smelt him or I smelt it?
No, well, you know, one of my brethren them talk to me the other day when they're in England, like, I'm in South Africa and him deal with them diamond and all them something there. He might tell me how to find out say it's real gold. So me not do it yet because me just come back, but now that me know now, him tell me what to do to find out if it's gold. It's home thing, you can't stay in your yard and know.
So, yeah, to find whether iron pyrite.
So me I go next week. Me I go find out if I really gold for true because the virgin did come in area for me and bring some, come give me. And tell me say I check it out, you know. So me I go check it out.
Because they can use, I think, borax instead of because the big company might use like mercury and them sitting there and mess up the place with it. But I think them have a way for use borax and do it. You know, cheap and everything. But you know, because I have to go set up him sluice like how you watch them old cowboy show and you see them have run the water and make it run down.
Yeah. Kind of strain it
out of the dirt, you know.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I use the borax and get to it. Then he make a sieve with the gold and then him go heat it.
Yeah, me find out, man. Me go find out. Because me not lick it down, you know. Me not go say I know gold, but because me don't know. Him say a gold and him swear by it. So, if I gold, me not give back nobody it.
Them thing there.
As a matter of fact, if I gold, me and him my best friend.
No worse.
If I go, me and my best friend because him say him can't get onion bag full.
Yeah, but after I separate, after
it's gonna come down to little
smelt it.
Yes.
It's not gonna be no onion bag full enough.
No, I mean, no, it's not gonna be no onion bag full, but I mean, a little bit of rock, a gold of rock is better than no rock at all.
Our price now, probably about 1,700.
Gold not change, you know. Watch our gold price go up, it not go down.
About last time me, I remember about $1,700 ounce.
Yeah, US. That's a US.
US, yeah.
See there?
$200,000, nearly 200,000 Jamaican ounce.
Well, watch out, man. If I gold, me not give back.
About cash gold 10,000 ounce.
Yeah, that me I hear too. If I gold, me I move go nice right in the house. Me I go down and go live. Because it's a white man come there with them that take a holy pipe and come. But me I say, in my mind, me I say, if gold is there, the white people not live that so, man.
Yeah, man. If like me say, when the big company end there, you know, then they get a certain amount. The amount of money where they have to spend to get out the rest. It don't make sense to them.
It don't make no sense.
The little profit don't make sense to them.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense.
And I begin now, when the program I start, when I talk about the game, I say, ring a roses.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, say that a game there, you know, a history lesson to you know.
Yeah, man. I watch a movie last night, man, named Return to the Blue Lagoon. Okay. Where the white girl and the white boy do it, ring a rose, they all fall down. All of them have a story behind it, you know, a serious thing.
Yeah, man, about the bubonic plague, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Remember that?
No, some never know. I know you teach me something, your brethren.
A bubonic plague, see, when I get, you know, you see some little, them spots, some spots start coming up on their skin. And
yeah.
Red spots, shaped like roses.
Yeah.
So there's a ring of roses.
Yeah.
But the pocket full of poses now. People in the dead so much that dead people are go to a street and walk up your dead air smell. So people walk up and down with what they call poses that are flowers in them pocket. And take you out. Pocket full of poses, take you out and push your nose and walk and smell that so they don't smell the dead people. Them. You see? I tissue we all fall down. Anytime you start sneeze, by 2-3 days time you start sneeze.
When me like a you know what me say? Acham me say no, cause Acham make you sneeze. Yeah, when me say Acham, cause Acham usually make you sneeze, eh?
Acham you want to eat.
but I'm very interested thing you tell me, the brethren. I don't force me hear that in life.
Sneeze, man. When you start sneeze and you know that you know you sneeze and drop down.
You fall down.
Tissue, I'll fall down.
No, boss, you tell me something I don't know is unbelievable, man.
The whole of them all little story, man.
All them just listen.
Must tell her about the Humpty Dumpty. All of them that story.
No, me know about the Humpty Dumpty.
And him hey diddle cat and the fiddle.
Yeah, me know about you see? Alright, you see? Me grew up, you know, I me write a poem named Nursery Rhyme Lament, you know. And me I say, but them man couldn't so fool. If I write them things so I don't understand, it couldn't so fool. And when me grow up big, so you know, I'm like, when me say big, me I talk about big man. Me come realize, a whole heap of them is like, what them would have called no allegories.
Yes.
like stories with a meaning, but them use figurative language. You know, it's like the all animals are equal, but some are equal more than others. If you study certain things, you don't know what them are talking about. Eh? Well, the same thing now with them nursery rhyme, where we are called nursery rhyme. So the man, them did I write it and I mask it with certain thinking because they never want the real thing come out, you know. And I grow now and realize, like, you just tell me something I never know. Me never know that at all.
No, so then that a history behind it.
Yeah, man, a history must be behind it, man. It couldn't so
anytime, you know, most things I remember out of rhyme and all them stuff now.
Yes, that's why you learn things quicker. It keep in you quicker when it rhyme. Jack and Jill went up the hill and all them way there.
When me look at read a comic book and me always I wonder to myself, oh, come back. Anytime I read the comic, I can tell you everything in that comic go right through me. I'm saying, why I can't remember from my schoolwork, so? Yeah. You watch one show, you remember it.
Yeah, man.
You know all them things there.
Yeah, man. That's
remember Dick Tracy, man, I talk about, look at Dick Tracy now. When Dick Tracy dream, look watch, look like nothing now.
Yeah.
Remember that Dick Tracy?
Oh, you mean, man, that look like a superhero watch now, a joke watch that. A normal watch that now.
Buck Rogers a joke, you know.
Yeah, man, when we did that to Dick Rogers, Dick Tracy, watch. That come like some high scientific
of course
thing, and that's how we me a little picnic, but no, normal thing, you can go in a store, go buy a watch where Dick Tracy used to have.
More than that.
Because even the white name they saw, the iPhone you saw, I science than Dick Tracy watch.
Yeah, look on. And look where it starts from. That's all the first computer where they make the ENIAC there.
Yes, yeah.
Take up one whole big old room.
Yes.
And could have do a couple of mathematics, addition and now my second. And now you look watch where you have and you look at thing.
Same thing.
And you look at picnic tie, can do a million times and
yeah,
more.
Man. How much terabytes?
I did them all in the 80s. When a man have 200, when a man have 150, 200 megabytes, you know, a memory, you know. Enough, you know.
Oh, you mean, man?
But no, sure.
Watch a man, me have a terror, yes, a 2 terror. With over 100,000 songs on it. And that a 2 terror, though, them have 4 terror, you know.
No, man, they have 5 or more.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine now, you put information, hey, and you know, it gets smaller and smaller, you know. The external hard drive them get smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Because they are thumb drive where we got the terror.
No, me never see that one. Let me say the height never see a jump drive at 125.
Them have one, but me don't know if they take it back off. Them have one where them put about 2-3 years ago. Where it thin like a chewing gum, like a
a jump drive.
Yes.
With how much terror?
1 terror.
You serious?
Them probably they don't test it. So I don't know.
They will come back with it, man. Get a year or two from now.
And that's about 2-3 years ago.
May I tell you?
The next thing, earlier when you talk, when one of the clip of your play, when the man talk about the male fish are turned to female fish.
Yeah.
I tell people at Jamaica, no people not talking to me as a man, but I tell so we got to end up with what for land fish down here.
Yeah.
But you see that round up on it,
yeah, the killer, the weed killer.
Chemical, yes, the chemical. See, the why reason US are try ban it because them start finding the chemical when in the ear and baby are born in the umbilical.
Yeah, earborn, effeminate.
You know, and it make with the man them got the estrogen.
Yeah, like woman.
Yeah,
man, a true thing, man.
Them something there.
You tell the people them thing that it sound like some weird thing you talk about, but it's reality now. These things is reality. Because they did show you them things in a movie years ago and you wouldn't believe it. Because you see a fiction, but them was really preparing the ground for making you know that these things is real. You know, look how the man, the doctor of death in South Africa. Him design virus that can only affect black people.
Yeah.
And him talk it in the court, the Truth and Reconciliation, and get where him did inject what them call it in the ANC t-shirt to kill people. Anthrax.
Anthrax, yeah.
Yeah, and him use virus that only affect black people. Years ago, me I tell them things on radio. Man say, Muta, you're a madman. What you talking about?
DNA struck.
And the man come in at the court and admit to it.
I'm glad he can boast and not get locked up.
Yes, because it's Truth and Reconciliation. You know, it's a weird thing. So, when we talk about food and how right now them contaminate the food in such a way and all that, you know, if you're not plant your own food, you have to just live by itself, boy, right now, that's all. Because the food gone away, brethren.
I mean, and see Monsanto and beer out for
oh, gosh, man, may I tell you?
Medicine and food.
You can't believe that?
Your food, your medicine.
And you know, Amazon buy out all foods. And them never in the food business. Mark and Spencer, who used to sell upscale clothes, gone in a supermarket business now. So them not sell clothes again. Them call themselves M&S, Mark and Spencer, which was one of the British Hallmark high-end stores. Now a vegetable and this and that them sell.
You know, money there.
May I tell you? You know, the food business is a serious thing, brethren. Serious thing. And now you see them make computer now where you can't ever see it good, the right in them. So everybody also have to wear glasses. And them make cell phone now where you can inject in your hand. You know that one there?
You can inject in your hand?
Yeah, them have the cell phone under your skin. You hold on by your skin and it light up. You see the cell phone in your skin. Man, tell them people, trust me, I don't know, man, that talk about that.
A couple years ago, I watched one movie with that where the man will have your link pull you out so they stop following around or something.
Yeah.
They kill by the implant. No.
Them have, hey, watch out, them have chip come through needle now, you know. You can put the chip in your through the needle, you know. That means, you know, you don't know, you know, but a whole heap of baby a born now could have chip in them and we don't know. And them train the baby from birth with the chip in them. So sometimes you hear about all of them shooting, we are going, you wonder, oh, a youth just get up, so I just go in at school, go shoot up the school, so. What is it that make a youth just walk, go in at school and start shoot up the school? You never can tell. Maybe it's controlled and manipulated in some place in upstate New York or Seattle, where man just sit down, just like how they maneuver the drone them in a Yemen and in Afghanistan. Them sit down in America and kill children and mothers in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Syria. And them sit down inside a comfortable
situation. Casualties of war, collateral damage.
So all them could you the way say walk going and shoot people. Now you say, what is it that make them people do that? We don't know if it's not control them in some place where them watch them and say, all right.
Okay, that's why Jack the Ripper grand picking them and go to England.
Yeah, I tell you, stop about people.
Man.
Anyway, give thanks, Bridget. Yes. Why you tell me something tonight? We have to go hold on upon Bridget. You know why it was significant to me? Yeah? I'm gone. Why it was significant when I say a while ago about Ringa Rosie? I was watching a movie last night with the same game. With the two youth them get stranded on a little island at the Blue Lagoon. And that is where them I grew up with as English people, Ringa Rosie. And the brethren come tell me what it mean. Beautiful. This is the cutting edge. Cutting edge, yeah.
Muta?
Yes, ma'am.
Muta?
Yes.
This is your 95-year-old.
I was just talking about you a while ago. I never recall your name, but that's you I was talking about.
Oh, really?
Yes, a man at 86 just called me.
Yeah.
And I said,
I heard him.
You heard him? Yeah, and I was saying, why my caller them at a certain age, you see, I have a favorite caller. We call her at 2 o'clock and she passed 90, you know.
Yeah. Well, when I know you're coming on Wednesdays, I try to get a 2-hour sleep before. You know?
You sleep before?
Yeah. I get a 2-hour nap before 10 o'clock.
Ah, beautiful.
And then I'm able to stay on. Listen, was that Binta Breeze?
Yes. She was talking to me from our house in Hanover, yes.
She's only 60. Tell her to take care of those
62.
She's got a long way to go.
62. She's 62.
She's 62?
Yes.
She's young. That's my granddaughter.
Me too.
Yeah. Listen, about my Winnie, I like the way you handle that.
Yes.
Because she was my doll.
Yeah.
I have a lovely picture of you and her.
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
You're telling me that over the years.
I know, and I'm not going to give it to you till you come and get it.
I have a lovely picture of me and her, too.
The two of us?
No, me and Winnie.
Oh, maybe it's the same one.
No, I have many lovely pictures of me and you. I have many lovely pictures with me and you.
Really?
Of course. The last lovely picture we took together was up the university.
Oh, yeah.
What the function was again? Over the new side. There's a new side when you come on Mona Road.
Oh, yes, when that pretty little girl from South Africa was selling her pictures that night.
I don't remember.
You remember?
I don't remember, but...
The girl was doing her pictures?
Yeah, it was an exhibition.
Lady.
It was an exhibition.
Wasn't she cute?
Yes.
Oh, doll baby.
Yes.
But, listen, darling, you tell these little 60-year-olds and 70-year-olds, they're my grandchildren.
Okay.
And about Winnie, let's go up to the South African...
She's 81.
Yeah.
She's not your grandchild.
Oh, no, not her.
No, I'm just saying that.
No. I mean the
the 70-year-old them you talk about. The 70-year-old them.
They're just babies.
Yeah, young girls.
Yeah.
Of course.
Get out of here. Tell her to take care of her feet. You know, Shakespeare says sands here, sands hearing, and sands without.
Yeah.
She's got a far way to go. But listen, let everybody go up to the South African embassy before the book closes, huh?
Okay.
Okay, darling.
All right, Mama.
Take care.
Give thanks. Yes, that was me. I think maybe it's my oldest listener, you know. If I'm not mistaken, she's my oldest listener at nearly buck 100 and still, and she usually call me this hours. It's amazing. It's amazing. And then the 2 calls down was an 86-year-old man. I'm doing quite okay. I'm really doing quite okay, man. Okay. Yeah.
Bless up.
Yeah, bless her. You don't reach 58, you know. Nobody go on like, you don't reach 58.
Eh?
You don't reach 58.
50? I do okay, man. I just have few days left to 60.
60?
Yeah.
Yeah, that no, you don't reach 68.
No, me never say me reach it. Me say me have few days.
Your baby to who just called me a while ago.
I know that. But me and the brethren, when me always tell us, me and him sitting, him not too long gone, Michael.
Oh, yeah?
Him 93 and 1924 in born.
Yeah, what? Give thanks.
Yeah, anyhow, back then when me a youth, Peter touch about ozone layer. People say a madman talk.
Yeah.
All when Zylan and them man, they set up things. You understand?
Yeah. Me remember, man.
Now everyone supposed to prove, say, a fact.
Certain things were with that from them time, you know, a real thing.
Yeah. Even the tape where you play earlier on with the pollution.
Yes.
We better be careful. We just make a jump and fall second behind China.
Get sucked in.
No,
even behind, no, where you going to China for? Behind America, you know, you don't say America is the second one. America, where there, you know.
But we will pass America because if China take we over. That don't mean we will pass America.
Yes, they will fight to see who can pollute the atmosphere more.
Yeah.
But we don't know if we're conscious enough to deal with them pollution thing they still, because if you look on even the car them a drive on the road, you know, say there's no regulation. If there is, it is not enforced, you know.
For instance, even when you think of the people that will live in like where the hill name? When you go up St. Catherine there, the St. Anne.
Guys Hill?
Mount Rasta. Guys Hill.
Yeah.
In them area, you know, when the people them will live in them area, they are worried for pollution when all them diesel engine they go up and fling them exhaust, you know.
Oh, you mean, man? It's a lucky thing. Say them now go around this option again because they are really there.
Them still go around them, man.
Yeah, I know them still go around there, but not...
Them are mainly like all Tankwell truck, them not take the route, but most of the rest of truck, man, how much of them can pay so much money? 9,000.
Brethren, me remember the days when we used to go up there, man, and chuck jackknife up there. You have to take another route. Me don't know, one night, me I come along highway from me never late for a program yet. And one night, one chuck jackknife up there, me don't know which part me drive, everybody has to take the route to go around there, so. Me go up at some hill and go around at some, me I say, wait, where the rat in this place are there? Me never know to them places, they are Jamaica.
Yeah, man.
Me I tell you, it's not a good thing for you up there and traffic jam up there and truck can't go up there, you know, truck stall.
No, if you in your vehicle and you don't have AC and you can't lock up your vehicle, so you go up there in one of them trucks, it's not lovely.
You have to say, you have a lead car.
One time I work with a construction company and we are go on a White River there to go do some work and we are go up the hill there with there in a truck or so much smoke emanate in front, and when we reach the place to do work, you have to beg some people some mint and boil some almost knock out. When we belch,
mint,
smell
carbon monoxide.
Yeah, man.
Hey, you have a part of the hill there, you know, where it have a deep curve. So the truck them have to go over upon the right to come round, you know. So some car usually take it inside and go round.
Yeah, man, no usually, I know.
Yeah, we know.
In a vehicle several times, and when the man reaches up, he says, shut him now.
Yeah. We know, one time I say a truck go round, you know, I'm going to take him, you know.
In a wheel, me.
Wait no, man. Me see the truck.
Yeah, but me listen, you man. You listen, you know. Me no privileged man be going to the little pasty lady run me, you know. So here what? You go and listen, you.
What you say? No,
Yeah,
man,
man.
me never stop. Me just try to tell you a story. Me not
Yeah,
lock
but
you
I
up.
tell you, say, me will listen to this story. The lady run me.
Which lady?
The little face, the lady, man, we always chip in.
A lady chip in?
Yeah, man, I say me have rare. You don't know about her. Oh, your phone run off of water, so you don't know about her. But listen.
All right. All right, DJ. All right. Now, me I say, one time we go around the deep car there and the truck go over the other side now. And I go come now and me I say, all right, me I take it to the on the left and I go around. It's a bit time I go full of me see the truck draw a sudden break. So me look, I come back, the truck I come back. Can't take the hill. The truck I come back. You think so me don't take a reverse, so it's a look, you think I would pack carry them and they behind me. Cause you know so me I lick them up. The truck just hook in on the top of the side of the hill there, you know. And I come back, the truck I come back, you know. Anyway, a long time you don't drive up there. Believe you, be a long time you don't drive up there. Yes, Ian.
Hello?
Yes.
Muta, how are you?
Me all right, man.
First time caller, long time listener.
You
Long
serious?
time I want to talk to you, you know.
I wonder why you make you call tonight, you know.
Me just up late tonight. I happen to be up late and me can't catch a program rather than listen.
You worry.
No, sir.
If you worry, you'll be sorry about tomorrow morning.
No, sir.
You don't worry.
I used to have a birthday. 12 o'clock, my birthday done.
Hey.
Me just live out the whole day, kind of, I guess.
All right. We'll give thanks.
So, yeah, man. Me look up to you and things. I'm rate when you talk like serious things about African history, the food and things. Listen all of that. And yeah, somebody who me look up to you, you know.
Give thanks.
So another thing, you played a Nina Simone song earlier.
Four women.
Yeah, I think Jay-Z do it over recently with like him do it tastefully still, like him have message in it same way for black people, you know.
Okay.
So maybe you can check that out by your own time.
Yes. And Queen Africa do it over too.
Who?
Queen Africa.
Oh, I have to check out for your own.
No, wait, hold on. Oh, you hear the Nina Simone one, I never hear the Queen Africa one.
All right. So I'm going to explain that to you.
And the Queen Africa one, me play first, you know?
Yes, if on YouTube, then normally make recommendations based on the type of music where you listen. So I recommended that I listen that one with Jay-Z. So that's how I know about Jay-Z one over Queen Africa one, you know?
No, wait now, man. May I tell you something?
Oh, sorry.
You did hear the Nina Simone one we play a while ago?
Yes.
Yeah, but when I say, before I play the Nina Simone one, I did play Queen Africa one. So, you never hear the Queen Africa one?
At that time, sorry.
You didn't go in the bathroom.
Well, anything you say.
You got in the bathroom, man. You take too long in the rasta. Through that 3 minutes, you're not supposed to try the 3 minutes.
No, man, we don't use the bathroom.
All right, sir.
So one more thing. You ever hear this thing that pig is a mix with a cat, a dog, and a rat? You ever hear something like that?
Yeah, that what people say that, yes.
Me
hear that.
Elijah Muhammad.
Eh?
One book by Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah, me hear that. Long
so
time
I don't know
hear
if you hear it from anywhere else, like if you can like tell if it's true or not. So that's
no, me don't know, Virgin. Me don't know.
Oh.
I've been hearing that for a long time, but I don't know.
Okay. You have a poem that you talk about two monkeys having a conversation. What's the name of that?
3 monkey.
I didn't hear you.
3 monkey, not 2, 3.
3 monkeys. What's the name of that poem?
The monkey speak. Oh, the monkey.
Oh, the monkey.
It's not my poem, you know.
It's not yours. I thought that was yours.
No, man, it's a long time song and poem.
Oh.
Yeah, man, it's a long time thing from the mentor days.
Yeah, man.
And it come up back now, but it just show me bring it up back because of the black family. I will say a breakdown of the black family, and that poem fit seriously with the 3 monkeys that are a coconut tree.
Yeah, man. Like it spoke about like monkeys can never be wicked as men or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to explain that to my brethren, but they don't really get
Well,
it.
Go up on YouTube and Google the monkey and buy MUTABARUKA and you play it for him.
Yeah, man. Now go check it out. There was one other thing. So one of my friends was sharing with me that like some races don't born with like empathy. You ever hear
some
races
some race not born with what?
Empathy. Like them can't feel other people pain. It's like them just like numb kind of. You ever hear anything about that?
No, I the first hear that.
I me personally think like there probably some truth to it, being that like all right, when you look at racism and you see how easy it is for like one race kill another race and just blame it like to them scared or something like that. It's like you really have to give credence to them kind of talk because you wonder if them are human to like if you take somebody like them just never going to come back, right? So you have to like appreciate on some deep levels.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Well,
I'll have to sit down and think about it seriously, you know?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right, brethren, give thanks.
Yeah, man, thanks. And if I can play the monkey coin, if you have time.
In the night, yeah. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
Time.
Yeah. This is the cutting edge. You know, so we'll be back here a little more from this with the stepping razor, the art of war, from 2 to 5:45. Yes, El.
Water.
A blessed man.
All right. Me asked about movie a while ago.
Movie, yes.
Yeah, I said, you watch movie. Never for ask you if you ever watch a movie twice.
10 times.
All right, you are going now. You play a tape one long time ago. With a man where I say I walk from England to Africa.
Oh, Daya.
I remember when name about
Daya.
Parts of the story about the man, but more I listen to that story there again.
But here I know. I can tell you why I don't play it. I only have one part of the tape, and I love if somebody out there have the other part. I can't well want to play it back for 2 years.
Yo, Muta, you play it on tape, President, I tell you.
How we go interview the brother in Ethiopia, you know? We go to Ethiopia when me and Cabo and Rebel and Yasus and Youth and Green it go there. Me sit down with him and interview him, and me I tell you, say it was like, you know, say white people go interview him. Me call move all time.
Yeah, good. I make a request. Anybody ever take the send it on.
Yeah, send it on. Trust me. Me agree with you. Anybody who know, anybody who have the whole of that interview, send it on. Come give me, make a plate back, Virgin.
Yeah, and the brother a while ago said, boy, about the hag thing about the thing and the
rat and thing.
There's a little thing about it in the Malcolm X movie.
No, me know, man. Islam, I'm Muslim, me hear with it. I'm Muslim, them.
The piece on YouTube, but part of it, on YouTube, the Malcolm X movie.
Yeah. But apart from the movie,
and I explain to somebody about how the ad come out, you know.
Yeah.
Keep me.
All right, give thanks, Bridget.
Bless up.
I want to yell up the nation of Islam too, you know. Me I tell you, them security serious. And when the data promote the show and get the nation of Islam, because obviously she really into her consciousness as African black consciousness. So she never go out there for go get the British police force or a British security company. Because we didn't attack certain things. So we want to help all, especially the 2 Jamaican Muslim them where we know from down at Jamaica, where look like they live in England, you know. Them are some serious security. Them not itch at all when it comes out to security. The security when we say like that was when we go to Gambia that, no, Ivory Coast. Me have some security, them call the president's men. Them work for the president. And the president send them down there for come secure me. You know, Matrix. Long time I don't see you know. Because the other day I come at Shane, I say come you know. Yeah. No man, I tell you, the nation of Islam, the Nation of Islam security, them train that way there. I mean, I tell you, man, tight. Because all the woman them, and them, the daughter who keep the show, you know, she not there right which part of the door there. But as some Nation of Islam woman and make it so show you your ticket. You have to show them your ticket. Them not itch. And it's when we are going there, two sides. Nobody can come close unless you want them come close. May I tell you, man? I see where the Ivory Coast, you know. No, man, I see where the Ivory Coast, man. The security, when the security, hey, the security, you see when we are going out of the room, the security stop me. And going out of the room, you know, go search every crevice and corner of the room, you know. The man lift up all the mattress off of the bed and look underneath, going out the bathroom. Lift up the top of the bathroom thing, lift it up, and then him say, all right, we can't come now. May I tell you, man, them serious to them security in a certain country, man, and that's so. Police are security rated, and him see him breaking over there, so he run and say, hold on, them out of still come. May I go over there, so. Can't talk about a man, woman, and all them way there. The man, down left your inch. No, me I tell you, man. I'm going out of craft market, man, and the man walk beside me like, you see, if a man ever like him, I come over, like him, look like him, I come over, you know, just come say, yell, muta, and shake your hand. You better stay over there, so. You better stay over there, so. That's easy. Yeah, but me love the Nation of Islam for that training there, where them have. For security. Yeah, man. Security. Serious thing. You know, when name Farrakhan, you know. Farrakhan talk say, it's strange. White people are asked Farrakhan are talk about how him have a whole heap of security. And he must say, but wait, when the president of America walk with how much security, nobody not say nothing. Just because I'm a black man, know him no fear of security, and them really want to kill him. They want, like what I say, so they want to kill me. And they asking me, as a black man, why I have so much security. Look at them president. May I tell you? No, man, but me love the move with the Nation of Islam man them. And the woman there with security, in terms of security. And that was really evident the other day. The woman give thanks to the time, give thanks to the energy. Yes, Simone, may I tell you. Aye, sir. Simone was with me all the while and she leave me, you know. And she have to come back to me, you know. You know, Matrix. Simone. You see, I'm busy in the day from how much time now, Mr. She I'm busy and I can't have no time for me, you know. Still out there active, man. No. No, me I say that the day she usually I do something else. But no, Mr. She come back to the original time, you know. So, you love big you love Simone. Yes. You love, hey, I want to tell Vita, you know. I come on Western Boulevard a while ago in the big traffic there, you know. It's that thing, you know, it's if the traffic hold me, everybody who will sell something, who will beg something or something, find my car for come there, you know. And look while one brother, you know, Rasta, him out right out of Duane Park Road, so right, for go across the road. The car, the truck, them all is black up there, so car, everything, look at that reach at 6 mile. A brethren come to me, you know, really. I see my look through the thing, I see my run on the car, you know. Because, you know, when a man run on your car, he might pray say the traffic jam up till him not run too far. But it come like the traffic now jar up now. So my car move slow and I go down and he might try run. And as a youth, you know, he look like him is a street man, street brother. Anyway, it stopped, the car stopped, the brother come to me. And I said, him like him, I said, you see the thing where you talk about on the radio about the me hungry burger them. Why you bring one for me, yeah? When you pass back tomorrow. Why you bring one for me? You know, say, I'm going to make sure I get one. But you see the problem with it, I'm going to don't see him out there. Yeah, that we're going to don't see him out there. But it can't wait still. But I really love to see because I'm saying, 5:30. I'm not pass out the 5:30.
Why not? Why not have a burger?
Me not tell you, man. Me not tell you. You Clara brother. Me not tell you. Me not tell you. I want to see Clara brother come to me walk more than the burger, man. Trust me, it's not where you thinking there.
New trends.
But the bread, no, I'm surprised. Because you know a man that come to you and say, boy, right now, you know, not money, they can't give me that thing. It's the first time man ever come to me and say that. Yeah. And you can't say, it's a brother you look and say, boy, him don't know have no radio. But him hear about the me hungry thing. And him say, that him want from me. So.
Well, if you're listening now, you have to tell him what time you pass.
No, you know. You see, if me tell him what time me pass now, a whole heap of man could have stand up out there and want something else from me. Can't afford that at all. Or I tell him, I tell him pass about 6 o'clock, you know. I want to let him have any juice. I don't know what I turn up out there with CD, you know. Yeah, man, turn up out there with a CD. I give me CD and the next man I say, well, right now, more time I tell the truth, and a long time I look at button and like, you can't bust me, you know. And them kind of way that them man they talk, you know. Yeah. Anyway, me I go remember, I mean, no Vita go down and listen. Vita, you have to give me a burger tomorrow. For Clarke go get this bread junior. I can't waste. If me not see him, me just eat that. Okay, here we go now. So, the brethren said, I must play this tune now before me done, I'm going to play. This is the cutting edge. I gone, you know.